Good morning, dear students. Welcome to our subject, Oral Com Quarter 2, Week 7. I am your teacher, Rafi G. Aguilar. Before we proceed to our formal discussion this morning, don't forget to visit our official website, lcms.gaitf.com. I repeat, lcms.gaitf.com. Log in your account there. Visit the learning path for the oral communication. And don't forget to download the PDF files and answer the quizzes as well as the activities. So class, are you now excited for today's lesson? I guess everyone is now excited, so I will not make this too any longer. Then let's proceed to our formal discussion. If you are using your mobile phone, you can use headset so that you could understand and hear the lesson very well. Shall we proceed now? We shall. Okay. What do you think is our lesson for this morning? Okay. For the week 7, our lesson for today is the principles of speech writing. Now, do you have idea about the principles of speech writing? I guess you have already the idea because we've discussed this on our first quarter. So let's dig deeper about the principles of speech writing. So, of course, in order for us to obtain, we have our objectives. So, our objectives this morning are the following. First, use the principle of speech writing. Second, consider audience profile, logical organization, duration, word choice, and grammatical correctness when writing. And third, but not the least, write on speech following the speech writing process. Okay, so this will be our guide or our target for today's discussion. Okay, the principles of speech writing. Have you ever written a speech? Okay, so class, have you ever written a speech? Well, some of you have already do writing speech and some of you are not. So I'll leave that question to you and try to remember what are the things that you consider when you are writing a speech. So let's find out if those running into your mind are correct or connected to the lessons that we are going to discuss this morning. If you have not, do you think it is easy to write a speech? Do you think it's easy? So this lesson will help you go through the process. To be able to write your speech effectively, you must be able to follow the process correctly. Here is the diagram of the speech writing process. Okay, so this is the diagram of the speech writing process. So, of course, conducting an audience analysis, determining the purpose of the speech, selecting a topic, selecting a topic, and after selecting is narrowing down a topic, and then last, gathering data. After doing that process, you need to select a speech pattern. Next, preparing an outline. Third, creating the body of the speech. Fourth, preparing the introduction. And last, preparing the conclusion. After doing that process, you need to step for the last process. So what are those last process? Okay, after preparing the conclusion, you have to editing and or revising. So you have to revise all the things that you have written into your speech. So including your grammar. So the flow of the topic, the organization of all the topic that you are going to conduct or to discuss on your speech. And then after that, if you have done the editing, rehearsing, or revising, now you will proceed to the last step, which is rehearsing. So rehearsing, this is somehow practicing on how you are going to deliver your speech to your audience. So this is how you this is the practicing in order to let's say perfect the speech that you are trying to convey with your to your audience. So you have to rehearse. Okay, so those are the process, the diagram of writing a speech. So I hope that you will remember that, because you can use that for future purposes. Maybe some of you will become a great influencer that will develop or will create a speech that would inspire everyone, all the listeners. So some of you 10 years from now might become candidate for politics, something like that, to become a president or something, that's deliver a speech. Of course, you have to consider these steps for you to have a meaningful and organized speech, Okay, so any questions before we proceed to the next slide? Okay, so if you have questions, you can leave through the comment section, and we would like to answer that questions right after the discussion, or uploading in new videos, and then we're going to answer your concerns, your questions about the lessons that we have discussed today. Okay, so let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, the diagram shows that the writing process is not linear but cursive. You go through it until your speech becomes perfect. So let us discuss each in detail. So we're going to discuss this in detail. So when I say process, it is a step-by-step procedure. So you cannot proceed to the second step without having the first step. Because if you will jump to the conclusion, then therefore, what? Your speech become unsuccessful. So the outcome is not good, and it's better that you follow the steps or the procedure one by one. Understood? Okay. First, we have the audience analysis. What do you mean by audience analysis? So it means looking into the profile of your target audience. You need to do this so that your speech will fit or match your audience. So profile includes demography, the age range, male or female relation, educational background, nationality, economic status, and others. Situation, time, venue, occasion, and size. And psychology, values, beliefs, attitudes, preferences, cultural and racial ideologies, and needs. Okay, now let's have first the audience analysis. Why do we have to consider the audience analysis? What's the purpose behind this? Of course, considering the demography, the situation, the psychology needs to be what? To be aware, You must aware of this when you are having a speech. Of course, you have to identify, to know your audience, The profile of your audience. Let's say when you are having a speech for senior citizens. So of course, for senior citizens, you have to know their ages. Of course, since they are seniors, you already know their ages. Aside from that, the relationship, either male or female, the economic status. So the language that you are going to use in that particular speech depend upon your audience profile or your audience yes, and depending upon the situation, there are factors for you to consider when you are having a speech, no? You should know the audience first, their profile, their ages, their situation, and psychology. So it depends, no? The topic of your speech must depend on your profile, on the audience profile. So I guess that's understandable, no? So let's proceed to the next slide. Second is determining the purpose. So, is finding out whether you want to inform, entertain, or persuade. So, of course, as you know, when we say to inform, you have something like the speech is announcing something, no? And then when you are to entertain, of course, you give what? You give entertainment to your audience. So you give it might be, your speech might be fun, no? Humorous, that could let your audience become happy, no? So that's entertainment. You give emotions, no? You are trying to convey an emotions for your audience. To persuade, of course, persuade is very useful when you're having a speech, especially if you have business. Like you are promoting your product, you have to persuade. What's persuade? Persuade means you are convincing your audience to buy your product, for example, right? So when you are having a, let's say, a cell phone, a mobile cell phone, or an Android phone like Samsung, Realme, of course you have to to perform or to have your speech that is that is what we call this. There's an indicator, or you can use words that could amaze them, no? To convey them to buy the product that you are promoting. So that is persuading. So sounds familiar. Of course, we've discussed that from our previous quarter. So yes, they are the three types of speech according to purpose: to entertain, to inform, and to persuade. So your purpose can be general or specific, but it's better if you will be specific. Example, general purpose to inform, specific purpose to inform the students about the benefits of solid waste management. So of course, you have to inform them how to have a what are the benefits of solid waste management. So that's determining the purpose. Now let's proceed to the next slide. Selecting the topic and narrowing it, so are also important. So your topic is your focal point. You need to make it more specific. So example, the topic is solid waste management. Narrowed topic is benefits of solid waste management. So that's how you select the topic and narrowing it. When you're selecting a topic, you have to narrow the topic. So aside from that, aside from solid waste, what else? Let's say climate change. So what should be your narrowed topic? So it could be what? So I will leave like climate change. So what would be your narrowed topic? So the narrowed topic for climate change is how to what? Informing them to knows what is the climate change. So that's the narrowed topic. Fourth is the data gathering. So data gathering is the part where you collect information from sources about your topic. You can research in books or surf the internet. Be sure to cite your sources. So gathering data. So this is how. So according to according to Google, so you state that one in order to give credits on your sources, no? So where did you get that information? So you get that through internet, like in Google, in Bing, or even any other search engines that would help you to answer your questions that are researchable. Fifth is selecting a writing pattern. So it will help you to organize your ideas. You can choose from the following. So first is biographical. So it presents descriptions of life of a person. That is biography. Categorical or topical. So it presents related categories to support the topic. Causal. It presents cause and effects relationships. Chronological, it presents ideas in time order. We say chronological, it means in order, but it talks about time, no? And then comparison or contrast, that is compare and contrast. Compare and contrast 2 or 3 ideas. Then the problem solution presents problem and solution. So what are the problem? Let's say in climate change, what are the problem? Of course, the changing of the climate. And then what are the solutions? How are you going to prevent climate change or something to lessen the climate change, no? So that is problem and solution. So that is selecting a pattern. So you consider the biographical, the categorical, the causal, the chronological, the comparison, contrast, and the problem and solution. Next, making an outline. Okay, so making an outline or a hierarchical list of ideas can help you arrange your thoughts to make it easy for you to write your speech in an organized way. You can use a table format or a list format. So it depends on you, no, on how are you going to outline, no, to outline your speech. For example, Roman numeral number 1, problems on waste. Then we have the subtopic, the environment and the health. Second Roman numeral number is 2, ways to resolve. So the subtopic, reduce, reuse, recycle, and solid waste management. That is making an outline. Next is creating the body. So when you are creating a body, it involves writing explanations, examples, and details about the topic you have chosen. So be sure to focus on the main idea. And of course, it's also important that when you are creating the body, you should also assures, no, or confirm or validate that the given examples that you are going to use in your speech are factual, no, because you are just you're not just informing the audience, you're also giving them what? A true information, no? That's why you have to validate or to confirm that those examples used in your speech should be factual and not fake news. Okay? So that is creating the body. Next, your introduction. Okay, so your introduction must catch the attention of your audience and present the subject or topic of your speech. So it presents the subject or topic of your speech. So that is your introduction, no? It could be like in a throwing of question, no? That could what amaze or somehow could catch the attention, no, of the listeners or your audience. By just throwing questions, they can think of a possible answers, no? Like in educations, when you are having your demonstrations, especially when you are discussing, of course, it's better to throw questions first when you are having a discussion, because throwing questions give them idea to the possible lessons that they are going to discuss in that particular subject area or matter. Yes, so unlike when you are having a speech, it is it is advisable, or it could be good if you start your speech by throwing a question, because they can give you you can give them insights, you can give them an idea about the speech, no, that you are going to tell, no, to inform them about the topic of your speech. So it's very helpful, and at the same time it would somehow catch the attention of the audience. Yes, so it depends on how are you going to introduce your speech to your audience. It could be by throwing questions, or it could also be by doing an activity that could lead to the topic, no, of your speech. 9 is the conclusion. So when we say conclusion, it is giving judgment, no? It is giving solution, no? So the conclusion restates the main point of your speech. You can summarize, emphasize your point, and call for action. Your goal is to leave a memorable mark to your audience. So that is conclusion. So conclusion, scientifically, of course, when you are now in the conclusion or the generalization, you have to conclude that the problem on your speech are already been answered or not. So that is the conclusion. So if there's a problem, there's a solution, as always. So of course, when your topic, what's the problem of your speech, that the topic of your speech, of course, you give solution. So that is somehow you somehow tell, no, or somehow help, no, giving solutions or giving justice to the speech that you are doing. Not just about in speech, but also in discussion, no? Okay. 10 is the editing and revising. So what do you mean by editing and revising? So it is correcting your speech for mechanics such as grammar, punctuation, spelling, organization, and the like. When you edit, be sure to, of course, edit for focus. Check if it focuses on the main topic. Second, edit for clarity. Make sure your words are clear and easy to understand. Third, edit for concision. So keep it simple and easy, that is concise. And then edit for continuity. Ideas should flow smoothly and should be on track, no? Because though sometimes other ideas are not usually related to the topic, no? To the topic that was being discussed. So it's far away. So you should stick to the track, no? You should be in line. Next is edit for variety. So shift in tone and style. So it depends upon the tone and the style of your speech. And then edit for impact and beauty. Make it memorable. So in editing for impact and beauty, there are some lines there that could live to your audience, no? And it could be also used in other areas that are connected to your speech. Maybe when you are discussing climate change, you can leave them as statements about climate change, particularly when you are lessening, no, the climate change of the world that we are experiencing, no. So you can leave statements that are very what we call this, very inspiring, very helpful, or very educational, that could anyone can able to apply, or to apply the statements you are leaving them. Okay, so that's editing and revising. 11 is the practice. So this is the practice. When you are done all the editing or revising, then you will proceed to the practice. So practice makes perfect, as they said, no? Always, no? Of course, when you have your practice, you can able to develop, you can able to enhance, you can able to what? To develop. Yes, you can able to perfect your speech. Of course, when you practice, you look at the time and how you deliver your speech. Then this helps you see yourself and find out how you can improve. So it's better to practice after all the editing and revising, because practice makes perfect. Okay. Next, we'll proceed to the lesson 2, which is the written to be spoken. Okay. The speech that you have written is not only to be read, no? To be read. It is also meant to be spoken. How should one deliver a speech? Here are some tips for you. So I'm giving you the tips that could help you when you are writing your speech or delivering your speech, because we are discussing about spoken words, no? Okay. First is use conversational style more often. So audience do not like the speaker to sound too unnatural or exaggerated. That's why you have to know the profile of your audience. So use conversational style. When I say conversational style, it could lead some questions, something like that. So that is conversational. That could able to let the people or your audience respond to your question. Somehow conversational. And then rapport with audience. Rapport means the relationship, no? Either your behavior is appropriate to your audience. So that's the rapport with your audience. So look at your audience in the eye, so they will feel that they are part of your speech. You are not just talking in front of them, but you are looking on only on one side. No, you have to look for left to right, and then of course the center. That's the most important. Your eye contact is really important. So this will also help their attention, and you will know who are paying attention. And use pauses when you emphasize the most important words, phrases, or sentences. Then your pauses should not last for 3 seconds. Kasi the longer your pause is, the boring your speech is, right? So you have to be consistent, and you have to be alert. Third one is modulation. So modulations, remember to adjust your volume to the size of the audience and venue. Modulate your voice, but do not shout or yell, of course. And vary your speed or rate to avoid monotone pattern. So this will avoid boredom. Next is the articulation. So pronounce and enunciate words correctly. You might confuse your audience if you mispronounce a word. 5 is the stage presence. So start your speech by standing straight and balancing your weight. This will give a positive first impression. So stage presence is also important. 6 is the gestures and movements. So use precise movements. Move your arms with a purpose. Avoid distracting mannerisms like swaying back and forth, leaning on the podium, licking or biting your lips, playing with your wristwatch or jewelry, scratching parts of your body, frowning, and others. So avoid mannerism. 7 is the facial expression. So avoid having a poker face or highly animated face. Just smile unless you are talking about a sad subject. Your expression must match what your message conveys. Of course, when you are talking about sad subject, you have to what? Your expression should match on the subject. So, of course, your face should also be sad. But when you are talking about happy subject, of course, your face should be smiling. 8 is the dress properly and appropriately. Of course, it's important for you to dress properly and appropriately. The 9 Breathe in and out to relax before your speech. So inhale and exhale is also important. So that's all for today, class. Thank you for having your time with me, and I hope that you've learned the lessons that we have discussed this morning. Thank you so much. And of course, before we end up our lesson, our session, don't forget to visit our official website. Log in your account there, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel so that you are updated on our latest video happenings on YouTube. So, this is Rafi G. Aguilar, your subject teacher on oral communication, saying that stay safe always and God bless everyone. Goodbye, class.